Hello everybody, welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. So today we're going to be talking about this plant right here. And as you've read in my title, you'll already know what I have found out. Now, for months now, I had been thinking that this was a gooseberry hybrid. It came up in the same pots as all of my little gooseberry seeds. And the seed looked almost exactly like my other seeds. And so when I actually saw the little seed when it had popped up out of the soil, and it looked almost like my gooseberry seeds, and the leaf shape was very similar but a little bit different. And you can go back to my earlier videos where I had actually stated in one of my updates of my gooseberries how this one little seedling looked different than the rest. I have since taken down all of my other videos on my gooseberry hybrid updates, and I'll be going onto a forum somewhere on the internet where I had asked if anybody had ever seen this kind of hybrid for a gooseberry, and I'm going to be deleting that comment and or updating them with information that I have found out. Without bad-mouthing a really awesome company that has a nursery near to where I live. I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but I'm just going to say I had sent some earlier photos of this plant when it was still fairly young, but there was enough pattern to the leaves even at that time. I mean, I'll just kind of let you see. It kind of had, let me see if I can find a leaf shape right here. This leaf shape right here. It had a leaf shape like this, and I had sent it in to the nursery, and I had asked the nursery, the botanist itself for the nursery, very well-known nursery, if they had ever seen a gooseberry hybrid that had this type of leaf structure, and so, and or any other plants, because it came up in the same pot with all my gooseberries. And I gave the story about how I collected the gooseberry seeds, where I brought my gooseberry seeds from, and they said that they couldn't actually tell me. They said that when I talked to her on the phone, she said that that's really exciting what I have growing, and she had stated to me on the phone that she had sent me an email, but she didn't know what type of plant this was. Okay, I'm trying not to roll my eyeballs into the back of my head right now. She's the botanist to a very well-known company that sells plants and stuff in the state that I'm living in. And I actually love this company, and I will be buying plants from them. So her not knowing this information is not going to deter me from wanting to purchase from them. But I just am like mind-boggled by the fact that I sent images and she still wasn't able to identify and the plant. Okay, so this is not a native plant to the United States. Okay, with that being said, it is also considered native now. Okay, so it's a non-native plant. Okay, so basically, I've got my notes here. I'm going to crinkle them around. ASMR. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of read some of the points that I found out. This plant is not a gooseberry, and it's not a gooseberry hybrid, and it's not even related. It is in the rubus family, I believe. Yes, the rubus family, because gooseberries and currants are in the ribes family. All right, so this plant is actually called the Evergreen Blackberry, aka cutleaf evergreen blackberry or cutleaf blackberry. It is native to northern and central Europe. It can grow anywhere from 8 to 10 feet tall, loves to be planted in full sun. Generally, you find it out in the open fields or in forest areas that aren't really habited, and along the sides of roads and that sort of thing. Okay, they are considered, at least in certain parts of the West Coast, they are considered an invasive weed. when they grow super tall, they create giant thickets that are basically impenetrable, and so they make a great wall. And they can be weeded down with goats and you know, tamed down a little bit. They do spread quite easily. As you can see, it's growing out from here to here. If the tips touch the ground, it'll put roots down. Okay, so I'm gonna try to just trim them back now. Probably next year. I'm not gonna worry about it this year, but I'm gonna definitely keep this plant because I have a ton of other blackberries, and I might as well go ahead and add it to my collection. So I'm not sad that I didn't have a gooseberry hybrid at all. Not at all, because I have a bunch of blackberries. So I'm actually welcoming this. From some information that I have read online, that the traditional, they grew these a lot in Oregon, in an area where, which I don't have that in my notes, but they grew it a lot in Oregon where they made the jams and the syrups and stuff like that. So when you think of a traditional blackberry pie, blackberry jam, blackberry juices and that sort of thing, people generally will think of the flavor that comes from this plant. Okay, and so it's got a really great flavor and it's very fruity. So I'm actually very excited to have this plant. All right, so yeah, so back to it creates giant thickets, and when it does this, it creates a really great habitat for smaller wildlife so that they can hide and build nests and that sort of thing. And so when we finally get our gooseberry homestead set up on some land in a few years and all my gooseberries will go into the ground, I will find a place for this on our property, like away from everything, so that it's not going to be something that is in our way, and that I can still go and collect fruit and that sort of thing, and maybe still keep it so that it looks nice and not like out of control. And so that's my goal. Maybe we'll just have to wait and see how I do it. But at this point, I'm just going to keep it in a pot. All right. It likes the fruit in the fall, and from what I've been reading, it will have white blossoms. I have a feeling, though, this next year I actually probably will get blackberries on it. So this is its first year's growth, and it's got all these canes. It might produce fruit next year, but don't quote me on that. We'll just have to wait and find out next spring and summer to see if we get any blossoms. So this plant was, like I had said, was native to northern and central Europe, and it was brought here to the US back in the 1800s. Okay, so that's how it got into the United States, and yeah, so primarily growing on the west coast from what I understand, from British Columbia all the way down into California. And so I'm not exactly sure. What I'm thinking happened was that a little birdie ate some berries, probably out here in the forest behind my house, and came over and dropped a dropping present with a seed in it into my pot with my gooseberries, because it was actually where it was growing. If you look at my past videos, you can see where it's at, where I pointed out at, and it would be like one of those smaller birds standing on the edge of my pot, and it would have been like perfect spot for it to just fall right into the pot. So that's what I'm thinking happened, and it just happened to sprout at the same time as my gooseberries and came up with them. And so I'm not sad that it's not a gooseberry hybrid. I'm a little bit bummed, okay, I won't lie, but I am very happy that I do have another blackberry, and I don't care, you guys. My past videos I had told you how gorgeous this plant was, and literally just growing it from seed this year, I am just astounded at the growth of many of my plants here in my garden. I mean, this thing is close to 5 feet tall now, all right? And I'll probably actually top it off. I won't let it get too much taller than the stake, because the stake is close to 4 feet tall, and I have it up on my little storm drain here, which I'll probably move this away from the side of the house and put it out along excuse me, the fence line next year. And so I'll have it with all my other blackberries. I might actually put my blackberries over by my shed and then that way it will be up out of the way. But you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and zoom in here, and I'm just gonna go really slow because I've noticed that it tends to blur quite a bit. But my husband, yeah, to find out, you know, when we found out what it was, I had mentioned to my husband how the leaf shape structure resembled blackberries, because a blackberry will have this leaf here, this leaf here, this leaf here, and then those two smaller leaves at the back. And one of my other Washington State volunteer blackberries that I have over here planted in one of my purple pots, it also had the same leaf structure as this. So this one's called the cut leaf, and this is, oh, and it has these little barbs underneath here too, underneath, on the underneath side. I'm gonna lift this one here, and they go almost all the way up to the tip. So yeah, they catch on your hand pretty well. This is pretty lethal. If you guys are interested in this plant, they do have thornless varieties of them. And so I might actually look into the thornless ones, and if I can get one that's thornless, I might see if I can sell this one and get myself a thornless one, because I would almost much rather have one that's thornless, because since they do get so big, I would rather not have to worry about my skin getting snagged on them. I have a bunch of marks on my hands because I was helping my friend out at her house, and I was pulling staples out of her 1984 rug off of her stairwell. So my hands are all beaten up this week. So it's absolutely just a beautiful plant, okay, you guys. And it's very painful too to touch, but it'll be giving me some beautiful fruit. This other plant back here, this is a stinging nettle, and I haven't gotten around to harvesting any more of the leaves this year, but you can make the leaves into tea for chest issues, like if you have a cold or something like that. It helps relieve chest congestion if you turn it into a tea and you like dry the leaves. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. I've got 12 minutes in, and I don't want to make it too very much longer. I'm going to go ahead and end the video now, but I just wanted to really share this plant and how much it's grown and how awesome it is and what I have found out about it. And so yes, you, my dear, are not a gooseberry at all. You fooled me, you fooled me, you fooled me. But I have pulled down all of my videos, and actually I haven't deleted them. I just made them private for my viewing only. And so from now on, I'm just going to focus in on really one plant at a time, so that I don't have to pull whole videos that have other content in them. And I should have been doing that from the very get-go, but that's okay. We live and learn. So you guys, if you like this video, or if you don't like this video, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell button so that you get more videos as I have them, and I want you all to have a great day. Bye.